afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Sunday, January 31st, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. For all of us, patience is a choice. In each moment, you can choose to respond with an open, calm mind filled with patience, kindness, and gentleness, or you can respond with impatience, ungratefulness, and fear. So it's a choice. Just notice what happens each time that you choose to chill out and relax into realizing the eternal spiritual being you already are. So it's highly recommended to choose wisely. Choose wisely. We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make our world. Buddha. As long as we are identified with the mind, there will always be a high and a low to life. The mind will dive into the cellar, the dungeon, the garbage bin, and collect many lowly ideas about itself and the way things are. Then the mind will compensate for this valley by pushing to the greatest heights of joy, creativity, and positivity to become inspired by those ideas which make life look rosy. The mind acts a lot like a pendulum which swings between the tallest peak, lofting in the clouds, and back into the deepest, darkest valley which knows no way out. The mind does this because the soul doesn't want to miss anything, especially the hidden golden treasures that are buried in the darkest cavern of our being. We might forget that we all signed up for this. In other words, we decided to commit amazing adventure to this amazing adventure called life, especially when we are facing a emotionally challenging experience. Painful, wounding events just happen in life, such as a breakup, a leaving the body, a major loss in money, health, or loss of career or our homes. All of these can trigger an emotional cataclysm, catapulting every positive and wonderful idea of who we believe we were into a bottomless crevice of sadness and despair. Whatever our greatest loss has been, its purpose was to create a depth inside us so that we can truly appreciate the sky-filled rainbow when the sun shines through again. Pain and joy are inevitable. Suffering is optional. Pain and joy are inevitable. Suffering is optional. Michael Bernard Beckwith. Depression occurs when the pain we should feel from our loss is suppressed and not welcome as just another experience in the course of this life. When we push away and push down any unpleasant feeling long enough, we create a wall which blocks the pleasant feelings from entering as well. Depression is basically caused by a deep resistance to life. It's an attempt to try and control life on a very deep level, which happens to the very best and the smartest people on this earth. It's not something we can avoid if our soul has come here to learn how to transcend one of the most challenging life experiences a human can have. The first step to getting out of this black hole, going nowhere, is understanding what depression is and why it happens to us. The reason why depression continues to manifest is our unconscious resistance and avoidance to an emotional trauma from our past. This avoidance manifests in the form of being distracted. Deep, perpetual This avoidance manifests in the form of being distracted, keeping perpetually busy doing this and that, which creates an even greater energy drain. If we feel we are not strong enough to deal with our pain, we may creatively compensate by turning to drugs, alcohol, TV, sex, stimulants, or food. We may say we are just enjoying life to the max by pushing every entertainment button we can find, yet deep down, we can see we're avoiding the pain that we fear facing inside. Whatever we resist persists. The stronger the resistance, the more unable we become to find peace with the experience we are trying to avoid. If this avoidance is kept up over time, it will eventually drag both the mind and heart down the path of emotional despair, hopelessness, and into a deep, dark depression. One of the greatest secrets to healing this depression comes from investigating the gold mine of feelings that remain at the bottom of our deepest emotional abyss that has been covered by layers of addictions. Exploring the pain we have is not so unbearable when we know the real reason why it continues to remain there. The reason our pain never goes away is that it's naturally summoning us into our spiritual core. At the core of our innermost being is where our greatest stillness, silence, and absolute healing abides. This magical core of our being is where the most profound spiritual realizations occur in one's life. When we come to realize that the greatest spiritual experience is waiting for us at the end of our darkest hour, the pain we were once avoiding suddenly becomes this greatest tantalizing mystery we can open up to explore. All of this talk about depression can get quite depressing, to say the least. Yet when we know the secrets to handling any energy-depleting monster, we will be able to look at it, talk about it, and explore it all day long, and not by emotionally depleted by it. One of the greatest secrets to dealing with any emotional demon is simply learning how to face it with conscious, gentle kindness. When we approach it with this tactic, we can slowly pull off all the masks that it's wearing. Depression can seem to hide from us in a variety of ways. Yet ultimately, we are the ones hiding from it. The reason is because we don't want to revisit that wounded part of ourselves who feels attacked, scared, or simply wants to hang out with you in a safe place all day long. This wound is not trying to bring you more pain. It's only trying to soften the ego so that you relax deeper into your true self and you find out just who you truly are. When we know this wound within is only needing more tenderness, patience, and love, we aren't so quick to run the other direction and instead can meet it with a gentle curiosity. This gentle love changes everything, and it is the catalyst that summons in the greatest healing force that there is. If any level of depression has been pulling you down in this life, just stop and ask yourself one honest question. What is it that one thing you're holding on to and cannot let go of? Find out your most honest answer to this conundrum, and you'll discover the key to relieving yourself from a future visit to the psychotherapy clinic. There's always a deeper meaning behind every challenging life experience. The bigger the experience in this life, the greater the meaning and purpose it has. The purpose of depression is always to push us deeper down beyond our mind into the spiritual aspect of ourselves. This is so that we surrender and let go of life and truly learn how to relax into our journey home. Depression is teaching us in a backwards sort of way how to trust life and do a complete free fall into ourselves. If we don't learn to relax in this life, the negative complaining mindset will simply eat away at us and bury a hole in our emotional body until we surrender and learn to trust in something greater than ourselves. Excuse me. The secret of happiness lies in the mind's release from worldly ties. The secret of happiness lies in the mind's release from worldly ties. Buddha. Another secret to dealing with depression is understanding that everyone and everything in life has a dark and a light side. We wouldn't know what night was unless we had daylight. And there would be no long, dark tunnel unless we were carving our way through a great mountain. Facing our darkness is not the end of us, but simply the dawn of a new beginning. Once we let go and trust depression, allowing it to plummet us into the deepest core of our being, we will soon find the source of the true emptiness and actually become free. This is an emptiness that is not lacking anything. It is emptiness that is free from all great and lowly ideas about who we are and who we are not. It is the greatest void that has been avoided by the Western world out of fear, thinking we could never find a way through it. The great irony here is that there was nobody home in the first place to make it through the void. Now, this may seem quite confusing at first, yet the mixed bag of ideas we've clung to about who we are and who we are not are simply a mixed bag of ideas. The sum total of all the ideas we have about ourselves doesn't equate to who we are. The ideas we've become identified with is what we call our ego, and is not who we truly are. The real essence and eternal fire of awareness from our soul is what we truly are. The real essence and eternal fire of awareness from our soul is what we truly are. All the ideas about who we are will come and they will go. They are not the truth of who we are. Finding out who we are is the essential key to transcending depression. And to start this self-inquiry journey, ask yourself this question. Which ideas do you most cling to and why? When you take a closer look at what ideas you cling to and start to see who is doing all the clinging, you will then discover the ego. The ego here is not really real. It has the reality and sustenance of a shadow. Does a shadow really exist, or is it merely the absence of the light? See the perfection in the seeming imperfection that seems to be. See the perfection in the seeming imperfection that seems to be. Lester Levinson. A good analogy to use is that our awareness is like sunlight, and our mind is like a microscope which zooms in on whatever our awareness is shining upon. When we get stuck in a depression, the mind is simply caught in the habit of zooming in on something we don't want to look at. We may be aware that we are focusing upon something we don't want, yet don't know that we have the power to redirect the mind towards the ideas we want to think about. To take back your understanding, your clarity, your power, simply takes practice. Just notice throughout your day, is your mind focusing on what it wants or what it doesn't want? Just notice. It's really that simple. Depression cannot continue when the mind is deeply aware of itself and then regains the ability to focus on what it wants. This shift in focus can only occur when we know who we are, that we are the pure light of awareness. With awareness, we can see when we're caught in the mind's habit of resisting feelings and thoughts instead of focusing on the feelings and thoughts that our heart truly yearns to have. Truly finding freedom from depression and transcending the sadness habit occurs when we release all over-identification with the mind. This means we completely let go of all assumptions we've made thus far about ourselves, good and bad. When we see all the ideas we've believed to be true about ourselves, we catapult our potentiality naturally into an extreme positive and empowering direction. This leap into positivity simply happens on its own accord. When we discover the lie we've been living, we naturally become joyous, excited about living life again, and feel eager to greet each new day as the great adventure it is. We explore every little thing on our inner and outer world with an open, childlike curiosity. We no longer live in fear of meeting any part of ourselves and are courageous enough to remove any mask in the way from knowing this truly alive and radiant, authentic being we truly are. So my invitation for you in this week is to be rebellious with yourself and take the time to question your reality and everything you've believed to be real. Use your laser-like awareness to cut through to the core of all of your emotional compost and discover the burning truth of who you actually are. And when you do this, you'll find that no depression can linger inside. The fire of awareness will shine through all the shadows the mind was running from before. When you look within with compassion and curiosity, you will see that you are the source of awareness, who is all-encompassing and truly beyond anything that is remotely depressing. You can become a powerful ally. Things can become allied with you that will work with you and not against you. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I am sure we all are. And the first thing we care to do is relax our bodies. A lot of us think we're relaxing our bodies, but 9 times out of 10, we're not. It's more superficial. When you know that your body is relaxed, you will not have a care in this world. You'll be detached from it. The whole understanding is that you're the master of your body. Now, whether you argue that with your ego and mind is up to you. But you are. And by mastering the body, you know how the body can relax. It's all these attachments that we have. Embracing thoughts, worries, stresses, fears, anxieties. None of us are exempt from it. Some have it a lot, some have it a little, some have it in between. But we all do. So doesn't it make sense that you, in a relaxed position, as you relax the body, all of these attachments, you just let go, identify them. Stress. Identify your stress. What is it? One of the major causes of our physical, biological breakdown in these bodies is stress. Who creates the stress? We do for ourselves. No one else does. Nothing outside does. You do. You create your stress. It's all in how you view things from within. So you can let it go just as much as you attracted it. And what is that? That's basically surrendering to all of it. Why hold on to it? Give it a big hug and walk right through it with ease, kindness, and gentleness. And you'll find that all of this stuff that you collected drops away. And then you'll find yourself feeling quite light. No concern about anything. So from head to toe, inside and out, the body finally just kind of lets go. And as we do that, we move into the now. And the now really is all we have. It's all we have. Do we have a past? Well, I guess you could say you have a past. Why would you want to hold on to the past? These are things that we had in the now, that we experienced in the now, that no longer are there. They're gone. Do we have a future? Not unless we create it. And we all create our futures in the now. Some of us, I'd say all of us at times will go into the past, reminisce, past experiences and things that we have gone through. But we don't stay there. We go back, hopefully, faithfully, into the now. But some of us will stay in the past so long, redundantly, repeatedly, that we'll take that past, bring it in the future that doesn't exist, create that future from that past, and relive that past in that future. That's why a lot of people on this planet can't figure out why they keep doing the same things, making the same mistakes, or getting involved in the same things, different angles in different ways, but still ending up in the same place. That's why. Then there's those, and we all think about the future as well, but we don't stay there. Because some of us stay there so long, wondering what if and when. When am I going to meet this person? When am I going to have more money? When am I going to have this? And what if this happens, or what if that happens? But in reality, the center is the now. It is the space between heartbeats. It's everything that you do in that moment, only the moment. And this stills our ego and mind, and subconscious mind. How does it still it? You're no longer focusing on the past, on the future, on everything. Dragging thoughts that aren't yours most of the time into reality. So this stills the mind, the ego, and subconscious, and you step outside of it. Because you don't have that noise anymore. You don't have those tens of thousands of thoughts hammering you 24/7. They're gone. And that's only when you're focused on the now. So here's the thing that we wonder, okay, so I get a thought or I embrace a thought and I go out of the now and I'm in the future or the past, whatever. How do I stay in the now? Your breath. It is your breath that you focus on. You don't have a past breath and you don't have a future breath. You have now, the breath. So whenever you have a thought or thoughts that pull you away out of the now and you're conscious about it, you just very gently say, okay, so I'm having these thoughts, I'm out of the now, so I'll focus on my breath, my breathing, and I'll be in the now. It seems simple, but it's quite interesting what happens when you're focused and you understand that, and you start understanding that, holy cow, I keep going off in these thoughts, but I'm aware of it, so okay, I'll focus on my breath and watch what happens when you do that through the heart-mind. All those thoughts just fade away. And your breath is divine positive energy. Most of us take our breath for granted until we have a situation where we have to focus on things that are happening with us. But the breath, it literally relaxes you. It distresses you. It eases you. It does many things. It also supports your physical body that houses the kingdom of God within it. It's this divine positive energy. It's very powerful. So picture yourself in the now, right in this moment to moment. Only in the now. See how many thoughts try to come in. And let them go. Just let them go by. You're not even interested in embracing them. You're in the now. Only the moment to moment. And your body is relaxing. It's a relaxed state. And you view, through your heart, mind's motion picture, you see your body relaxed. You're seated. And you see these colored wheels of light going from your spine, tip of your spine, all the way up to the top of your head. And they're kind of glimmering. They're shimmering. And there's 7 of them, 7 different colors. And each one is a flower. And inside each flower, all different, are geometrical shapes. These are the conduits, the connectors, the etheric connectors from the physical to the spiritual plane, to all the particles of existence, to the astral plane. This is where all of our power flows. And sometimes they get out of whack, they get out of alignment, they get blocked. Most of us don't even know that throughout this life. So we take our divine positive energy, our breath, and we mingle our breath with our God force love light energy that we see flowing, shimmering through these energy vortexes, these chakras. And that's our chi, our prana, our ki, a lot of words for it, our power. So we start with the red wheel of light, the root chakra, which is the Muladhara. This deals with our survival, and it is blocked by our fear. Remember, these are thoughts that block us. These are thoughts that block our chakra and energy flow. Then we move to the orange wheel of light, the sacral chakra, the Vadhisthana. This deals with our pleasure, and it is blocked by our guilt. And then we move to the golden yellow wheel of light, the solar plexus chakra, the Manipura. This deals with our willpower, and it is blocked by our shame. Then we move to the emerald green wheel of light, the Anahata. This is our heart chakra. It deals with our love, and it is blocked by our grief. Then we move to the blue wheel of light, the throat chakra, the Vishuddha. This deals with our truth, and it is blocked by our lies. Then we move to the indigo wheel of light, the third eye chakra, the Ajna. This deals with our insight, and it is blocked by our illusions. Then we move to the crown chakra, the Sahasrara. This deals with cosmic energy. It connects us to the divine, to Source Creator, to pure consciousness. And it is blocked by our ego attachment. So we've taken these two energies, our breath, divine positive energy, and our God Force Love Light energy, and we've brought them all the way to the top of our heads. And we hold them real briefly. We are light, we are love, we are. And in that brief moment, we compress and condense these energies into pure liquid energy, omnipotently powerful. And we release it over our pineal gland. You see your pineal gland any way you choose. Through your heart, mind's motion picture, I see it as a rosebud, a green ball. And when I pour this liquid energy over it, it completely goes into a full bloom, massive rose with multicolored petals, with just an absolutely wonderful fragrance, and shimmering, and it's sending out waves of complete contentment, knowing, just absolute quiet being. And it's a very powerful calming that waves over our bodies from head to toe, inside and out. It's an awareness. It's an ease. This connects us to all the particles of existence. To finally understand that you are everything. All the molecules, all the atoms, all the quarks, all of it. It is you. It is part of you. Flows everywhere. This affords us the knowing, conscious awareness. It affords us heightening our vibrational frequencies, which mean deep eternal love, gratitude, gratefulness, thankfulness, always, perpetually, not once in a while, but to get to the point where you are always in that understanding, that you embrace it. This gives us and affords us the conscious awareness that we are of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. And it also affords us conscious awareness that these bodies that we're in, and our heart minds and our ego minds, our subconscious minds, and our God and our pure consciousness and our soul and higher self and spirit are all one. So we know that we are heaven on this earth. We literally are, not figuratively. We're heaven on this earth. And that we become more and more aware that every step we take, we are creating paradise. And we're learning also to shine the light that we are of the God, pure consciousness, source creator, outward, flooding everything, inside and out, head to toe, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. All of our brothers and sisters, whether they're awake or asleep, flooding everything and everyone, nonstop, with our light. So, in reality, billions of gods, consciously aware, through the heart-mind, heaven on earth, creating paradise every step they take, shining and flooding their light on everything. a God planet that glows with pure, deep, eternal love and gratitude. Magnificent. See it through your heart, mind. Feel it. Embrace it. We have others, other parts of us, other aspects, facets. The archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes, the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Sananda, Jesus Christ, El Moria, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua, many, many, many more. And both of them, as parts of us and us parts of them, are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love. The archangels are a civilization that vibrate at a different frequency than we do. So we don't see them like we see each other. But boy, we meet them in this life more than we know. And when we do meet them and interact, and then usually afterwards, and a lot of times we just sense that that was interaction with an angel. And a little bit of bliss within us bubbles to the surface. And they're always giving us this one message, usually in different ways. Isn't it absolutely marvelous and spectacular to be alive in these bodies? They can surround any one of us at any one time in tens of thousands in number because of their vibrational frequency. They can house a large number in a small area. Ascended masters are those who have mastered ascension into physical form, out of physical form, hold God form, pure consciousness. We have ascended into physical form, are mastering physical form, creating our experiences while in physical form to perfect our creations, and at the same time learning that we, you, all of us, are the God, the light, the love. So eventually when we leave these bodies, we will not seek a tunnel of light or a light or follow it, because we are the light, the pure consciousness, the love, the deep eternal love, the gratitude. We're always learning from each other, teaching, all across the expanse, all across all existence, and beyond. So, we call out to all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And only those, just like us, from the perspective that are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. And they come in the Gugaplexes. And the Gugaplex, one of them, fills this universe. They come in trillions of Gugaplexes from every direction. And they are with us now consciously. We call upon all the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, beneath earth, Agartha, all these civilizations, and only those out of these civilizations that are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, in this meditation, in the forming of the circle of light, and the full liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now, into higher and higher frequencies of deep eternal love and gratitude, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness. And they come in the billions, and they're with us now, consciously. We call upon all the off-worlders, all the galactics, all of the celestials, from everywhere and anything. They're all parts of us. We're parts of them. It's always been that way, always will be. We make up the one. A 1,000 of them or more travel through the solar system every day, and trillions travel throughout the universes every day, and we're only familiar with a smidgen of them. And the ones that we are somewhat familiar with, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the Sirians, the Feline, the Zeta Reticuli, the Nords, the Grades, the Draco, the Reptilian, the Golden Pyramid, the Avian. Many, many, many more. They've been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and slavery. And out of all of those uncountable numbers, the only ones that can join us in this meditation, this liberation of this planet, are the ones that are truly consciously aware that they are of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. The rest are in lower vibrational frequencies, cannot sustain in high frequencies. They'll shatter, they'll deplete, they'll disintegrate. And they are with us now, consciously. We call upon all of our loved ones, all of those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. And only those in higher frequencies that are consciously aware that they're of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude can be with us in this now, in this meditation, forming the circle of light and the full liberation of this planet, Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. And they come in the billions, and they're with us now consciously. We call upon all light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms, on, in, above, and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now, in this meditation to form the circle of light. And we're only familiar with a smidgen of them. They come in color, shapes, sizes, forms, configurations, of which we've never seen before. But they're here. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, and the minotaur, and many, many, many more. And all of them that are with us can only be with us when they're consciously aware that they are of and from the deepest of eternal love and gratitude. And in the trillions, they are with us now, consciously, arm in arm, hand in hand, All of our gods one. We're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, abundance and prosperity. And we are all one, and we are all God, and we are all love. And our God, light, love, force, energy, is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, and it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We all form a massive circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia. Are you? In this now, consciously. This is our God force, love, light, energy. It's what we are all made of. To our core being in existence, throughout existence, we are made of. This light is so brilliant and so bright that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. It would take 1,000 billion suns in this solar system to even come close to its radiance. We begin to levitate up. As we are levitating, we are flooding this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, with this God force, love, light, energy. All of our brothers and sisters, head to toe, inside and out, whether they're awake, asleep, in between, flooding them with the love that all of us are, that the gratitude that all of us are as one. And they are all parts of us. Feel this in your heart mind and see it through your heart mind's motion picture. Everywhere. Flooding our light outward. As we continue to ascend, we're met with this massive ocean of glitter. Trillions of vibrant colored lights flashing everywhere. We look close and we see these mirrors, perfectly formed, reflecting all of us gathered for this meditation, consciously. Massive, reflecting, learning, teaching parts of the one, all of us. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that reminds us all that we are the power of healing, and we will eventually embrace that understanding. We're then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that reminds us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve, of which we will eventually embrace that fully, consciously. We're then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that reminds us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are imbued with a God force, love, light armor, force that cannot be penetrated. We are protected head to toe, inside and out, eternally, forever. Nothing can harm, nothing can come in, nothing can invade us, nothing can inhabit us. And you can see this phenomenally bright light all around you, from head to toe. You can see it shimmering and moving. Throughout this meditation and throughout your entire existence, you're continually protected. No externality, no creation can inhabit, invade, harm, affect any of us. But only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough through hate, greed, anger, envy, you will create a breach in your white fire armor. Enough so to allow all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, if you do decide to do this, you're then met with purple transmuting flame. This is a column of light that reminds us all that at any time we can call upon the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutralized substance, send them to pure consciousness. They're gone permanently. We're then met with the violet ray. This is a column of light that reminds us all that we can bring in the violet ray. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our harmony, vibrational frequency of deep eternal love and gratitude and peace. We're then met with the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that reminds us all, head to toe, inside and out, that we are the sun. We are the sunlight. We are the rain and the rainbows. We're the sun sets and the sun rises. We're the clouds, the sky. We're the animals. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the trees, the forests, the snow. We are everything. So the next time you're in awe of beauty, of the vistas, of the sunsets, of the sunrises, of the snowfalls, of the rainbows, you're actually in awe of the beauty that you are. We continue to ascend above the planet. Some of us step outside our physical forms, hover effortlessly above them if we're carrying physical form. And we come across, in full view, this massive crystalline light tower, larger than this solar system, that we created. And in the center of the column, we see an oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere, we see a golden white shimmering light. It's flickering, and it's sending out massive waves, saturating all of us head to toe, inside and out, eternally. And this is deep eternal love. All the bands of light circling it, all these different colors, are doing the same thing. These warm waves of mist penetrating all of us head to toe, inside and out, glittering and flickering, of gratitude, gentleness and kindness, generosity and humbleness, and bliss and joy and peace and tranquility and benevolence and well-being and wealth, prosperity, abundance, joy, all of it, all reflections of who and what we are. Consciously. We see at the top, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees as it does eternally. Also flooding us, head to toe, inside and out, with deep eternal love. We are all drops of this ocean. We all contain the essence of this ocean. The ocean is the drops, and the drops are the ocean. The only illusion is separation. We then see our meditative sphere at set center circle. We all created this sphere almost 3 years ago. It houses well over 1,200 of our meditations in perpetual motion. All those meditations with uncountable numbers of the One assembled for the liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. The purest of the highest of frequencies of deep eternal love and gratitude, flooding us all eternally. This is why that this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And this is why it continues to intensify and it continues to expand. Feel through your heart minds who you are. See who you are. Understand. Because you are the master. And pain and joy are inevitable. And understand also that suffering is optional. I'll join you in the meditation and return to close us out. take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out of the mouth. Move slowly, easily. We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make our world. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. And we will return February 1st, Monday, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.